G'day and welcome to episode 56 of Kingdom Business TV. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to take lots and lots of questions from you guys. So if you want a question answered, simply put your phone number in the comments below or put your question in the comments below, and I am going to give you my 2 cents so that we can help you build your business. Right, what does Kingdom Business mean for those of you that are just coming across our channel? What I would love to see was I would love to see Christians lift their game, build businesses that are bigger than a business that they need for themselves, use the increased money that they don't need to fund their church, fund projects, and use the influence that comes with a bigger business to shape the minds of the people around them. I think if we do that en masse and we have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 of them around Australia and beyond, then we will actually start to have a voice in the marketplace and shape policy, shape thought, and actually bring the kingdom. So that is everything that we are about. Cheeky little scripture, because I told the guys I wasn't teaching anything today. Cheeky little one that I like. It goes like this. So where are we? Proverbs 21:31. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but deliverance is of the Lord. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but deliverance is of the Lord. What does that mean? How do we put that out in business? Well, we are battling in the marketplace every single day. We are up against our own stupidity, our own laziness, market trends and forces, and an enemy that wants to make sure you stay broke. Okay, it's a battle that we go into every single day that we go out into the marketplace. What Scripture is saying to us is that we need to prepare the horse for battle, but the deliverance comes from God, meaning we have to prepare. We've got to be intimate with the Lord. We've got to have great products. We've got to be out there doing our marketing and our sales. We've got to be doing our bit, preparing our horse for battle. And when we do that and we go in there and we're excellent, then the Lord will win the battle for us. So just be prepared, right? This is, you can't sit back and play defense. You can't shrink back and play small and expect the Lord to bring you the deliverance. It's got to be that you prepare the horse for battle. You've got to do your bit. Okay, you've got to be putting your best foot forward, standing down the enemy, going to meet with people, innovating your products. You've got to be doing the stuff that matters to prepare your horse for battle, and then the Lord can go and get amongst it and bring you great deliverance. It's a short teaching today because the boys are whinging that my teaching goes too long. Hey, Pat. All right. I would love to get your messages come through on my feed, but it's not happening, which is so annoying. All right, well, that's fine. But I can only communicate with the guys who are on the Facebook page at this stage because #technology sucks. All right, I'm going to go to some straight up questions. If you've got a question, put it in the comments below and I'm going to answer it. And if your question comes through on YouTube, my team will give it to me. If it comes through on my personal page, my team are going to give it to me. And if you're watching on Insta, then that is a miracle because we're not filming. All right, but we'll grab some footage because that's how we roll. Okay, so I've got a question here from Vivian sent through to me on email, and it says this. My question is this. The world uses complicated business structures to avoid being sued, and as a Christian, I feel that we have a moral obligation to help anyone who has been wounded by something we have done wrong. However, I also know that there are people who look for someone to sue so they can get a free ride into prosperity and don't want to waste the Lord's money in handing it over to these people. Should we be using structures like corporations with discretionary trusts? Where do I draw the line? Vivian, it's a really good question because I can understand your heart in this is you don't want to be taken advantage of, but at the same time, if you've done something wrong, you want to help these people out. Here's my 2 cents. Yes, you need to use every possible structure to protect your assets. Why? Because we are in the world, but not of the world, right? We are in a fallen world of people that would like to rip us off every single day. And as your profile increases, as your business increases, as your profits increase, there'll be more of those vultures that want to come around, okay? Why? Because believe it or not, there are some pretty average human beings out there that want to steal everything you've got because they would rather steal it from a human being than actually work hard. What we do know from Scripture is if that's the way they make their money, then they're going to lose it just as fast. So that's okay. That's what's happening. But for me, I mean, I use those things you just said. I use corporations and I use discretionary trusts, and I have trusts that own assets so that I don't own them personally. And you know, I have created an environment where if somebody was to come and try and sue Business Greenhouse, for example, they could sue it. The company's worth very little because it's a trust that owns the assets. It's not me. All right. I do that. Why do I do that? Because I have spent too long, worked too many hours, you know, given up too much time with people that matter to put assets in a place where they're vulnerable for some numbie to come and want to take it. I'm not interested, right? I would rather protect it, because what that does is that gives me the choice to right the wrong, rather than them coming in and trying to do it with a lawyer on top, gouging fees out of the deal. So if you do protect it and you do hive yourself away and you do that and you've done something wrong and you need to rectify it, you can then work out how you want to rectify it, okay? Putting stuff in corporations and discretionary trusts doesn't mean you are evil, and it doesn't mean you have no intention to right the wrong. It means that you are in control of how you right the wrong if you've done that, okay? So yes, I would fully be utilizing that stuff, and every opportunity I would be doing that, because I, like you, work far too hard, and these parasites that want to go around suing people, we need to make it really hard for them so that maybe they realize they're better off to go and work like other human beings. All right, that's my 2 cents on that one. All right. Another question. I'll answer this one, and then we'll grab the call from Michael, who is calling in. All right, another question here. Let me just dig it out. Come on. Come on. Here we go. All right. So Jen asks, if your church is having a vision offering, how do you know how much to give? How do you work out if it's your own idea or God's prompting? How do you do it, Wez? Well, first and foremost, I would say never feel under compulsion, all right? Because Paul said, you know, don't give under compulsion, give out of a cheerful heart. So I would say, you know, like you don't want to cripple yourself trying to work out, you know, how to do this giving thing. God is not interested in the amount. God is interested in the sacrifice, okay? And so, you know, and I've heard, you know, one of the teachings that I love when it comes to, you know, these miracle offerings or these annual offerings that some churches do, one of the teachings I like is we're not interested in equal giving, we're interested in equal sacrifice, meaning that, you know, we all need to shoulder the burden to make sure our church's visions are well funded. So I like that because everyone's in a different financial position, and I kind of think, you know, the Bible says, you know, he who is good with a little will be given a lot, but it goes on to say, who has been given a lot, more will be expected. So if the Lord has prospered you, you have an obligation to be funding things at a bigger level than you did when you didn't have anything, right? Our giving should always be increasing. As long as our businesses are increasing, then our giving should always be increasing for a few reasons. It tests our faith. It's just a practically good idea to fund the kingdom and all of those sort of things. For me, though, however, I don't have a formula for how to do this. I personally, I have, when it comes to these things, I have a typical tithing, but I mean, for me, it's never an amount, like it's not factored in. I'll call it tithing because most people call it tithing, but it's never a tenth. I have no idea what percentage it is because, you know, the whole ecosystem is constantly moving. I have an amount that I give every single month. So I cut the same check to my church every single month. And that number creeps up over time. Like next year could be higher than this year, but it's pretty stable. Right? It's this amount of money and that's it. And it's never gone backwards. It's always gone up as our businesses have increased. But that's just a gut feel. I feel the Lord show me how much, and so I do that. And then on top of that, my giving is around projects or one-off things. So, you know, like at the moment, we're involved in an Indigenous initiative. So we're going to go and get behind that. That's not instead of my tithe, that's on top of the giving. And then when it comes to like a miracle offering, for example, for me, all I say is, Lord, show me, give me an amount. And if you know, quite often people will get two numbers when they do that. And it's always going to be the higher number because that's going to be God, because he's going to stretch you and grow you into that area, okay? I reckon finances is a really good way to learn the voice of God and to be led by the Spirit when it comes to giving, okay? You know, the worst thing you can do is give too much. And God says, you know, he loves a cheerful giver and he pours out his blessings on somebody who's generous and so forth. So I would say to you, first of all, be relaxed. Second of all, in that relaxed environment, seek the Lord. Listen, for me, I ask for my giving number and it comes as like one of those red digital clocks. That's just how the Lord talks to me. It's like one of those, it's a black clock with the red digits on it. That should be a time, but it's actually an amount for me. And that's where I gauge how much he wants me to give away, okay? And sometimes it's an amount that's okay, sometimes it's an amount that's incredibly stretching, and after a period of time, as you would have done, Jen, you kind of get used to just trusting the Lord because it all works out in the end. And I think also, you know, one of the things to consider is the ebb and flow of business. There are times in business where the business itself requires a lot more capital. And so in that time, you may not have the luxury of doing some ludicrously large giving program. But then when you've invested in the business and the business pays off, don't be surprised if the Lord puts a really big number on your heart because he wants you to grow into that, you know, area of being generous. Listen, my experience is this. This is, by the way, this is not tied to your future blessing. Okay, I want to make that thing clear. How do I know that? I have been blessed hugely, financially, at times when I haven't given anything, right? In my early stage or when I went through a really hard time or whatever reason, you know, most of my life I've been incredibly generous with my giving. There were pockets when I wasn't, and the Lord still blessed me. So there is no correlation. He's not a tit for tat God. He's going to want to bless you anyway. What this is a response that says, I have a duty, right, as an entrepreneur to fund the kingdom. I have a duty to, you know, be invested into my spiritual covering in my church. I have a duty to be one of the, you know, funders of the kingdom. That's what this is. It comes out of a, God, you've done so much for me, gave your life for me. I just want to be involved. Okay, that's my motivation. My motivation is not, I'm giving this year because I want to get something next year. That's just a really bad idea. Okay, so that's how I feel. Hopefully that helps, Jen. All right, let's grab Michael on the phone and see if I can help him out.
Hello.
Michael, it's Wez Hone. You're on Kingdom Business TV.
How you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. I have a question in regards to e-commerce.
Yeah, shoot.
So I'm an artist and I'm trying to start up my own kind of products to sell online.
Yep.
And kind of that are of just different artworks that I've done. So, for example, like cups and mugs and stickers and even original artworks. My question was if you could speak into a bit of the e-commerce website and how to grow it and also how to just drive traffic to it.
Okay, good. Okay, I wanted to get really clear because that's quite a broad question. So your question is, how do you drive traffic to it?
Yeah, so how would you kind of convert sales on an e-commerce website?
Okay, they're two different questions. That's okay. Driving traffic to it and converting sales are two different parts of the process. Okay, so here's my baseline, right? Most e-commerce sites are about as relevant as a surf shop in Alice Springs, right? Because they've built an e-com store. It all may look pretty, but they don't tell anyone about it, right? You know, the beauty of e-com is, you know, you don't have the overhead of a shop front. People can buy 24/7. But most people think by setting up an e-com, people will find it. And they won't. Just like if you opened a shoe shop tomorrow morning in your town, you will only sell, like no one knows, right? You're the best kept secret. So I guess what I'm saying here is the mistake most people make is they do not build out anywhere near enough awareness about their e-com store, okay? So all we need to do is go back to the standard process for building awareness on any business, and that is you need to start putting out content every single day around your products, your uniqueness, what makes you tick, the vision for the business, the end game, and start putting that out across Instagram, on newsfeed and stories, Facebook, YouTube, podcasting, and just as broad as you want, depending on your age, TikTok, you just need to consider just putting out tons of content. And then layering on top of that, you need to start targeting ads to certain demographics, right? That you can drive that you can drive people towards. But we actually need to get our head around whatever awareness or numbers you've got in your head that you want people to know about your business. You need to 10 times that, because it actually has to be a massive amount of people to get any trickle down effect to sales, especially at the start, because there's no credibility, right? It's not like, for me, I've got every colored polo Ralph Lauren, polo shirt you can buy. Why? I don't need to check them out anymore. I can walk in, grab my size, grab it because they've been around for a long time. When you're a brand new business and you don't have that legacy and that brand awareness, the only way to bash through is to tell 10 times or 50 times as many people about your business. Okay, so that would be I would be fully trying to stretch you to. It needs to be daily content, and it needs to be across all 7 platforms every single day. Now they could be they could be product-based features, or they could be story-based, or they could be just videos of you, telling people new range coming, new product coming. It doesn't really matter what it is. You just need to start brainwashing a massive amount of people about your company. That's the thing. Now, I'll answer your second question, of converting. The mistake that most e-com sites have is that they think that their product design, like art or t-shirts or cups, they think the design is the variable, right? And it's just not. So the reason why I would shop with you over one of the 7 billion other e-commerce sites I could go to for artwork and cups and stuff is because of your vision and what makes you unique and the brand and the values of your company. So like if you let me put it to you this way, right? It's not about logo and design. The cross, right? The cross of Jesus is fairly similar to look at as the swastika, right? In terms of design, but they couldn't be any different in values and brand and purpose and vision, right? So it's I wouldn't want you to try and make your artwork the variable. I would want to hear your story and why you're doing it and the tribe you're trying to build and the impact you're going to have on lives. That's what I'm buying into. And if I buy into that, not at the start, not until you've bought brand, unless you've built brand legacy. When you've built brand, it goes the other way when you build brand, right? You could put out rubbish and people love you, so they buy it, right? A lot of artists do this. A lot of artists, they build a really big following and people just buy their next album, even if it's rubbish. Like they'll just buy it because they bought into it. But at the start of the journey, you really need to really story tell around how you're going to touch lives and impact and how the world's a better place because of what you're doing. And if you can do that and it resonates, they'll buy. And then whenever you come out with a new release, they'll just keep buying your stuff. Okay? But just don't try and tell them that your design is the best, because it's too risky. The design needs to be good, don't get me wrong, but then that's not their first purchase. Their first purchase is you in their mind, and the second purchase is the actual product.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Right. Thanks, heaps.
That's your buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
That was really good. Just saying. All right. And I have another question here. Do we have any more? Oh, yeah. All right. Well, let's just go straight to this next call, and that'd be good. Really appreciate you dialing in and joining me. It means the world to me that you'd give up your time and come and watch. It would mean even more to me if you hit the share button.
Hello, Chris speaking.
Chris, it's Wez Hone. You're on Kingdom Business TV.
How you going, Wes?
I'm really good. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
What can I help you with?
Thanks for the call. Oh, mate, I was just started my plumbing business 18 months ago. Real new to this, and I always had the idea of growing a bit bigger.
Yep.
Trying to get the crew to 10 upwards.
Yep.
And I was just talking to a Sparky mate of mine just recently. He's got 27 staff.
Good.
And he said if he could do it again, he would, downsize 1 to 3 people just for the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm caught in between what to do.
Yeah, cool. Okay. All right. Well, but I mean, if the question is should I build a 1 to 3 or a 27 person team, that's an identity issue. The identity of the business is they are so vastly different that you've just got to work out what you want to build, because you can have a very profitable. Actually, let me rephrase that. You could have a fairly profitable 1 to 3 person plumbing team, right? You could have a very, very profitable 27 person plumbing team.
Okay.
So you can have both of those. One is obviously building around a lifestyle because you don't want the headache. One is actually going to build a business, right? Because you could build a 1 to 3 person plumbing business without being very entrepreneurial. You just got to get more clients than you could service on your own, and you've probably done it. The person that would go and build a 27 person plumbing team, that requires entrepreneurship, because it requires somebody who's going to, take those risks, probably raise some capital, because you've got to buy 27 cars and 27 uniforms and 27 da-da-da-da, and probably go and spend $100,000 a year on marketing to be able to get the clients in the door to be able to keep 27 mouths fed. So, but what you don't want to do is you don't want to believe your mate with the electrical business, because there is no correlation between having 27 people and not making any money. The variable in that business is your mate. If he's a bad leader and a bad marketer and a bad process guy and a terrible boss, of course he's not going to make any money. He probably wouldn't make any money with 6 people, right? So
I think he's doing all right, but I think he stays in his business too much. Like he's there all the time, and he's putting a lot of hours
I guess
in.
That's what I mean. It's a leadership issue. Like if you're running 27 guys, you should be throwing off enough money to be able to pay more team to take the tasks off you, right? There is a critical mass that takes place, and at 27, you're doing however many millions, maybe 7 to 10, maybe even 5 to 7, 7 to 8, somewhere around there, maybe. And then at that point, you should be making enough money to be and then you've got to redeploy that money into team members that can take the work off you, right? So that you get your time back. Sure. Like, because remember, here's something to consider. You can't sell a 1 to 3 person plumbing business, and if you can sell it, you're selling it for next to nothing. The reason why you go and build a 27 person plumbing business and run it for 10 years is because you make loads of money on the way through and then sell it for a few million at the end. Like, it has intrinsic value. Somebody from a different state who wants to get into your state comes in and just buys your entire business, and then they can run from day one. Like, there are other benefits, and that's why I'm saying it's a little bit more entrepreneurial. But you know what? If you said to me, I'm only looking for a 1 to 3 person plumbing business so that I can take, so I can work part-time and put some guys on and have flexibility and go to the beach every morning and afternoon, fine. If that's what you want, then go build that. But don't let somebody else's story that you don't know the details of put you off going to build your vision.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess
you can grow into a 27 person business. You're going to have to learn to grow like we all do, right? As you already probably have. It's not going to be doing more of what you've already done. It's going to be different things. You're going to have to do a lot more learning in a HR department. It's bigger, but then the payoff is bigger. So
yeah, sure.
So I just wouldn't want to take one case scenario and make it mine, because I just don't know enough about the inner workings of that. Because I personally have taken a Sparky business from 80 grand to 10 million in sales, similar sort of staff. They probably had a few more staff, but they were throwing off profits, and they worked hard. But you're going to work hard if you're a 1 or 3 person plumbing business, because that's the only way you can make money with 1 or 3 people is work hard. So I kind of feel like if you want to be entrepreneurial and build a great business, don't let anybody put you off. Just go and run at it and learn. And remember, every mistake is only a mistake if you make it twice, right? You are going to have to go through a lifelong journey of making loads of mistakes. And your job then is to spot them, learn from them, systemize them so they don't happen again, and keep running. And that's the only way I've seen businesses grow, right? So, you know, and maybe your mate's lost the fortitude to keep growing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess there's a big stigma on sort of rural, and there's a big stigma, you know, attached to running your own business and doing everything yourself. And I'm very aware that I need to employ other people to grow, not quickly, but grow bigger.
Yeah, definitely. Whereabouts are you?
But I'm about 3 hours inland from the Sunshine Coast.
So what would that be called?
That'd be Mergen.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Kingaroy.
Oh, yeah, yep, got it. Yep, know where that is.
Yeah.
Beautiful part of Queensland.
Yeah, it's real nice. There's this, everyone wants to talk to the boss and everyone wants to, you know.
Yeah, until they can't. Like, I reckon people are pretty versatile. You know, like one of the reasons why that culture probably exists is because no one's building big businesses. You know, like, I mean, there are some massive businesses in the centre of Australia, right? In remote Australia, there are some massive businesses, you know, and you don't expect to speak to the owner if there's 400 staff. So it's the same thing. Like, over the time between having 1 staff and 27, you can just start to train your clients and put a team around you of really qualified people and let the market know that they're more qualified than you in certain areas and to contact them. I mean, that's, I guess, the difference between what we don't know about Old Mate's story and how you could do it different. You could probably just factor all of this stuff into your growth and execute better along the way so that it was a better business at 27 people. The irony here is that if you get 27 people right, you've got a phenomenal lifestyle business because you probably never have to go in. You're probably going to go in for half a day a week to motivate your team and check on the numbers and leave. Because at that point, it can carry a general manager it can absorb the overhead of a general manager in the business without draining on the cash flow. And you probably don't need to be there except leading a team and casting vision, which would be the best use of your time. Yeah. You get a better lifestyle business when it's bigger than when it's smaller. Let me just say.
Yeah, okay. That was one of my questions, having a business manager in place instead of yourself, sort of thing.
Yes, and you're probably going to have to invest in that person before you're comfortable. And they're probably going to cost you 80 to 100 grand a year, and they're not going to be recoverable because they're going to be internal overhead, not necessarily out in the field. But you're probably going to want to get to a team of 6 to 8 technicians before you make that investment. Now that might seem early, but what that does by putting them in is it gives you your time back to go and meet clients and win contracts to get you to the next level. Most people are waiting for the money to come in before they make the investment for the manager. You've got to invest in the manager before you're comfortable. That's what gives you the time back to go and chase down the growth.
That makes sense for sure.
Cool.
That's excellent.
Well, bless you, buddy. Hopefully we've been able to help.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. Thanks, Wes. Always great.
Cheers. All right. Well, there's a few questions coming in, but I'm going to answer this one. Oh, do we want to call Lenny? Okay, let's call Lenny. No. The phone number's there. It's not here. I won't read it out. Just for Lenny's sake. All right. Well, we'll talk to Lenny and then we're going to wrap it up because I've got things to do.
Hello, Lenny speaking.
Lenny, it's Wez Hone. You're on Kingdom Business TV.
Hey, Wes. My question was just kind of, I don't know, I'm fairly young. I'm 23, and I'm passionate about business, and I just was curious to hear, like, from your perspective, what you'd be focusing on if you were to go back in time and kind of start all over again. And
you make it sound like it was a long time ago for me.
No.
All right, so tell me what's going on. Are you working for someone now? You got a job?
Yeah, well, I've got a great job at the moment. I'm managing an ice cream store for someone, and
Okay.
I've got a team of about 12 people under me, and just really wanting to learn to be a good leader and just build that.
How long have you been doing that
business
for?
as much as I can. Only about 8 months now.
Okay, good. What would you like to do? Like if that job fell away tomorrow, you want to start your own business?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What would you do?
Well, I don't like what I'm wanting to do eventually is something in the hospitality scene. Like I just really love that whole thing. So I don't have like a really clear like picture of I just really want to do this one thing, but I know that I would want to open up something in the hospitality scene.
Okay, good. So there's a couple of ways you could go here. Firstly, I mean, you are probably on a great learning curve where you are, so that's really good. I mean, you know, I personally think that the only reason why you get a job is to learn. You know, employees are wonderful, but learning is the main reason why you have a job. You know, and some people want to learn their whole life and stay as an employee, and that's brilliant because we need them. And some people will learn until they feel confident enough to go into business, and they'll start their own, and that's fine too.
Yep.
So learning is brilliant with what you're doing. I wouldn't be worried about your age. Like I sold the first window cleaning business at 21. I think I just turned 22. So you know, like you're right there. One of the things that you would consider, I reckon, is you need a bit of time to get clear on what that looks like. Okay, so but I would be intentional about working out what that hospitality thing is. I wouldn't just mumble along for 24 months and see. I would dig until I found what I wanted. But what you could do, and I'm a big fan of this because you're 23 and not 43. One of the things I reckon you could do is just go start any business tomorrow. Pick one, or whenever you want. Like pick one that is pick one that's a cash flow business that makes money from day one. Right? You could push a lawnmower, for example. Right? You could push a lawnmower. You could start a business on Monday and get paid some money by Monday afternoon. It's that kind of quick cash business. So what you could do is you could go and do 24, 36 months of any business. And the way I would say that is look at what's in your hand. What do you already got a skill for? What do you already like doing? Do you like building websites? You know, if you're into tech, then go and build some websites. If you're, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Just pick a business that you've already got a skill for, go and tell the world about it and make some money. And the reason why you would do that for 24 or 36 months is so that you can learn business. You're learning a job and you're learning leadership, and that's brilliant, but you need to learn business. And there's definitely merit in learning in a little business before you step into something like hospitality where you have to buy your own building, maybe, right?
Yeah,
so,
of course,
so it might be smart for you to, you know, go and build a business for 24, 36 months so you can learn, you know, cash flow and budgeting and hiring and all those things in the real world. Like that would be smart.
Yeah.
And then what might happen, you might get to the 36-month mark and that business is saleable. And then you just sell it. And now you've got a lump sum to be able to go and move on to the next thing, okay? And if you stayed in your job for 1 year and then you built a business for 3 more years to sell it, to start your real thing, you're still 27, right? So it's not exactly like, you know, you've got so much time on your hands that it wouldn't bother me if you started 3 little businesses and 10 years later got into your real thing. Wouldn't bother me in the least. You'd be well ahead of most people if you did that. So I wouldn't be putting this off and being casual about what it looks like. I'd be going to work this thing out. I'd be going, this is what you know, I'm gonna dig out what this thing looks like. And you know, whatever skills and talents you've got right now, I would say just go and put them to good use, charge people for them, make money, and then use that real world business knowledge to launchpad you to your other business.
Yeah, okay, for sure.
All right, bless you, buddy.
Nah, thanks, Wez. Appreciate it.
All right, well, that be a wrap for episode 56. Why? Because I'm speaking tonight somewhere, and I've got to go and put a flashy suit on because it's an important gig. I'm speaking at the Gold Coast chapter of the Kingdom Business Network tonight, so I'm excited about that because it's going to be great. All right, so if you've got questions, feel free to put them in the comments below, and I will answer them when I get back on Thursday. Until then, bless you.